What's happening, guys? It's your boy Adam from Shisha Central and welcome to my brand new series, Real vs Fake. In this series, I'll be highlighting and showing you guys how to spot fake shisha products in the market. Today, for the first Real vs Fake episode, I'll be focusing on Alpha Hookah, which a lot of you know is very personal to me. Alpha became popular in the UK market many years ago now, due to the fact that myself and a few other people in the industry reviewed it, showed people how it is, and it was just a domino effect after that. Every vendor had to get it. It became really popular, and now it is definitely the most sold Russian hookah in the UK market. So I'm going to start off with that today. I'm going to show you side by side the differences between two of them models, the Alpha X and the Alpha S. So I'll be showing you real and fake versions of both of those models and showing you how to spot them, along with a few hidden surprises. So let's get into it. Let's start off with Model X. So guys, time to see which Alpha X is real or fake. So let me go straight into it. Let me show you the real one. You guys have seen this in my previous review. It's my purple Alpha that I have at home, Alpha X. So the main difference is you're going to see straight away, even before we get into the shisha, the main difference you're going to see is a box. So this box over here, as you can see, it's a white box, Alpha X box. This box has now been discontinued for Alpha. They discontinued this box back in March 2020, around that time, or just before. So this box, if you're going to buy an Alpha X or any Alpha shisha and you see this white box, either it's really old stock or it's fake. Also, a lot of the fake boxes are bigger than this. They ain't as thin as this. So yeah, if you see this box, please stay vigilant and make sure you check out the shisha before you buy it. Now, the first thing that's off that not a lot of people really notice, and it's a bit bizarre that a lot of you don't notice, is the material of the tray. As you can see on both of them, the tray material is very different. This is stainless steel on the original Alpha, and on some of the fake Model X's, it's literally just carbon steel or mixture of crappy metals, and you'll be able to see it by the texture. Texture is literally just like a really cheap, very cheap thin frying pan that you buy from the pound store. Yeah, that's the sort of material you're going to see. But saying that, Alpha has lots of different variants of fakes. This is just one type that I've seen pop up a lot in the UK market. So a lot of you guys who send me your pictures, you're normally referring to this one. But you can get Alpha X hookahs which have the same material sort of tray, and the logo is just off. So let me show you about this logo now. As you can see on both of them, this has the old Alpha logo on it. All the new models don't have this logo on them anymore. So they should come in different boxes, not the white ones, and they should also have this Alpha logo on them, which I'm going to show you on this side of the screen over here. So that's the sort of logo you should have on your tray now. All new models since March 2020 have that new Alpha logo. These are now redundant in terms of being put on their new products. So obviously I got the old Alpha, I got this many years ago, so they're still going off the old logo for majority of the Alpha fakes. As you can see, it's a triangle and stuff, triangle with the eye in the middle, but you can tell by the font. So I'll show you close up. This is the real Alpha font. So you can just take a look there. This is the real Alpha font. All in line, you know, neat and clean, no discrepancies on there. Yeah, just watch the actual font itself and you'll see. Now let's go into the fake. On the fake, you can see quite a few discrepancies. If you look at the H on there and the A, and both the words as they join up, looks very different. Some people might not be able to see it, but if you got an eye for detail, you can kind of tell, listen, this looks a bit dodgy. Mostly all fake Alpha X's have this sort of problem when it comes to the tray font. They never know how to get the font right to the real Alpha. So that is probably one of the biggest giveaways when it comes to seeing if an Alpha X is fake. But saying that, who knows? They might be releasing more fake models that have the new logo on them that I showed you just a minute ago, and if they do that, then I guess there'll probably still be little ways of finding out how, because they couldn't even get a bunch of letters right. So yeah, that's the tray. Now let's break it down even more. Let's take off the bowl ports, or both of them. And the sleeves. Let's go on to the sleeves. This is the real Alpha X. As you can see, this sleeve is powder coated, and Alpha actually do 2 layers of paint on this. So that's why the color doesn't really come off. Unless you really give it a bang or you really chip it, then you might. But look, I've had this for like 3 years now, and there's no color wear or tear or anything like that. Even this bit at the top, which you think would get a bit of wear and tear, where the tray and bowl port go, there's nothing. You know, the metal ridge at the top here to hold the tray in place is still intact. You can't see any metal through that, as it's still coated in the purple. Also, the sleeve on the real one is anodized aluminium, whereas this one over here, I don't know what sort of metal this is, but it's pretty crap. You can feel it straight away. It does feel like metal, but a really cheap alloy, or again maybe carbon steel, or even something even worse than that probably. If you look closely on here, the way they've painted this is no way the same as the way they painted the Alpha X, the real one. This is not powder coated. This is not with 2 layers. This looks like some sort of varnish or some sort of crappy paint. As you can see, wear and tear straight away. Look through the sleeve, you can see the discrepancies. At the top, you can already see the color going where the metal ridge shows to hold the tray in place. But on the real one, I've had this for longer and it hasn't even shown on that. So again, issues over here. You can see the metal straight through that. That's how crap the paint is. It's peeled off after a matter of months. So the sleeve, main differences are, it doesn't feel as premium as the real Alpha X. And if you haven't had a real Alpha X, the best way to tell is just look at the wear and tear on it straight away when you buy it. You're going to see discrepancies such as maybe the metal ridge showing over here, or you're going to see inside the actual sleeve, you're going to see that it's not painted properly inside and it looks like a total different color. So yeah, just look for things like the paint being thicker as well. On the real one, the paint isn't thicker in terms of the way it's been smudged on. This is powder coated 2 layers, done in great detail and great quality. But with this one, you can tell, like, even over here, you can see where the paint has overlapped inside here, a few bits and bobs over here. The paint overlaps. It's a real bad paint job overall, to be honest. So that's how you tell about the sleeve. Now let's get into the rest of the Alpha. So all these parts on the Alpha X are stainless steel, yeah? Whereas with the fake one, they're not stainless steel, I don't think. The way they look, the way they feel, they're again some other metal alloy, low quality metal alloy. And the number one way of knowing that, and the reason I say that, is because it rusts. It hasn't even been a few months and they're already rusting. Even when you buy these, sometimes they're rusted. Stainless steel can rust, yeah, but when it comes to stainless steel used in the hookah market, a lot of the brands out there make sure that they use really high quality and they give it a finish where it's really hard to corrode and rust, and it probably won't. But saying that, when you use like other metal alloys or carbon steel, it's gonna rust quite quickly. So that's the difference. Look for rusting even before you buy it, yeah? Take a look through the stem and the top bit, look for rusting. If you see rusting, don't get it. But yeah, that's another way of telling. Now, if you wanted to go into a bit more depth, let's look at the chambers. Chambers now. You know, there's not much difference with the chambers apart from the ball bearings. All different Alpha Shishas, the fake ones, the ball bearings are really like low quality plastic, and some of them look like pearls, which is quite funny. Whereas the original ones, you know, you're gonna hear a lot more shaking from the fake. If you hear that shaking, that's a fake, yeah? Now let's hear the real. The noise on the fake is a lot more because they've left a bigger gap in terms of where the balls can actually bounce up and down. Whereas with the real one, they've just left a smaller gap. So yeah, that's another way of knowing. Now, you want to look a bit more into it. You can tell the font is off again. On these bits here, you can tell this font on the right hand side is off. It looks the same as their tray. They haven't nailed the Alpha font. And then let's go into something else. Look at the Alpha X emblem, which they have here. The real one, I've had this for 3 years or so. Still bright, still white. But look at this one. Faded, dull. And this was bought way after. This is only about 3-4 months old, this one, compared to 3 years. Now, if you get an Alpha X and it's already faded like that quite a lot, please check over the hookah before you buy it, yeah? Along with everything else I've said in this review. If any of these things are off as I'm going through this, check it out. Make sure that you're not getting scammed. So, even the screws, the screws on the chamber, on a lot of the fake ones, they're flat screws. They're not bumpy. Whereas with the real Alphas, whether it's the S or the X, the screws have a bump on them, yeah? They're not flat, Whereas with the fake ones, they're always these cheapy flat screws. So yeah, again, that's another way. You want to take a look at the bottom, fairly similar at the bottom, but you can tell the holes on the fake ones are slightly more bigger. Hence why the smoke quality to them isn't as good either, as personally I find a lot of the fake Alphas smoke quite different to the real ones. Other people might say different, but for me, I can feel it being a lot more airy when I smoke from it. So last thing is, with the chamber, the plastics are very different. The real one is German polyoxymethylene, whereas this one, it looks like any sort of recycled plastic, to be totally honest. And you can feel it, it's a bit more hollow, and you can actually, if you press hard enough, you can actually try and nearly dent this plastic. So yeah, so now let's get on to the next thing, down stem. So with the down stems, they will vary. You know, I've seen quite a lot of different fake Alpha Shishas. With this one, you can tell with the waterline, you know, the waterline's slightly more higher up on the fake, whereas with the original Alpha X, it's slightly more down. And the holes on the diffuser are smaller on the fake as well. And majority over the whole two products, you know, with the fakes, a lot of them try to define the features a bit more in terms of they make them very sharp. Whereas Alpha is not really a hookah that has sharp features. It's a lot of curvature on the sleeve and on many parts. Whereas with all the fakes you're going to see in this video and for your reference in the future, they all try and overemphasize some of the features that the normal Alpha X do. And by doing that, they do it in a shoddy way, and you can actually see that they've done a bad job on it as well. With the mouth tips, not much difference, to be honest. The hoses ain't that different. The mouth tips are fairly the same. With the fake one, you can see a bit more of a edge at the top where you smoke from, and the magnets are a tad weaker on the fake version, but yeah, the hose port kind of looks very similar. So yeah, so those are the ways to spot a real Alpha X from a fake Alpha X. So now let's get into the Alpha S. So guys, now it's time for Alpha S. First off, the box that comes with Alpha S and X, the new ones, like I said earlier on, are the ones over here, yeah? So you shouldn't get this in a white box. If you get this in a white box, it's 100% fake, yeah? Alpha S, they've never ever done their S in that sort of box. They've always done their S in the multicolored sort of tattoo looking box. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now let's go over it just like we did with the X. Let's start off with the tray. So first off, the tray is not a bad copy at all. You know, for the average Joe, you couldn't tell this at all. They've done a much better job on their copy for the S than the X. As you can see here, looks fairly similar. The way I can tell personally is the fact that this writing on the outside on the fake is slightly wider than on the real one. The fake one has less of a gap in terms of away from the end of the tray, whereas the real one, there's a slight more gap between the writing and the end of the tray. So that's how you can tell. Also, the way that they've done this sort of calligraphy style is much thicker on here. You can tell the difference in thickness of the so-called pen or the laser thing that they engraved it with. Even though this doesn't even look like it's laser engraved as such. Now, when it comes to the sleeve, again, the same sort of thing I was saying about the X. They try and overemphasize on the fakes when it comes to like the edges and the corners, making it much sharper on edges and corners. Also, it's not powder coated on this either. A bit of a better job than the way they do the X's, but yeah, still you can tell, you know. Even like at the bottom over here, you can see that with a lot of the fake stuff, it's very straight, you know. All the cutting and the way they do all this machinery and stuff is a very straight sort of line, whereas with the original Alpha, it's always curved. Also, if you take a look here, right at the bottom on this part of the sleeve, shoddy work over here. You can see that the little square openings here are quite shoddy. They're not actually squares, whereas with this one, you can see it's much better over here. So yeah, so that's the sleeves on them. Now the stem, again, they're not using stainless steel on the fake. It's not the same sort of texture, it's not the same sort of feeling. On the fake one, you can see that it just doesn't feel the same. You know, you can feel the difference. And it looks like the fake one's slightly more of a glossy finish. So also guys, I've noticed a majority of fake Alphas, they have this difference on the down stem, where there's a small little rigid indent over here, whereas with the real S, there is an indent, but it's very easy to see. Whereas with this one, they've done it much further down, and it's not really that prominent. So yeah, a lot of the down stems on the fake Alphas have this little sort of ridge over here. That's another thing to look out for. Now, chamber wise, again, it's faded out more on the fake one. It's made from that crappy recycled plastic, whereas this one's a German poly. And yeah, the purge balls are sort of pearl color. You can see the main differences. Screws flat on the fake, just like I said for the X. And with the S, it seems that there's a bit more of a gap from where the letter S is, whereas the real one, there's no gap on either side. This rim meets it exactly in the middle, whereas with this one, you're gonna see that it's a bit out of place and it can move as well. So yeah, that's another way. The bottom, the holes are butchered on the fake one. That one's nearly going into one hole. As you can see, it's gonna turn into one. So yeah, the holes on it are quite butchered, so that's quite easy to tell. And then a bit of rusting in this as well. So yeah, apart from that, the rest of the S, the same as the X, slightly smaller holes on the diffuser. The bowl ports on majority of the fakes are very slightly taller, only ever so slightly. You can't even tell properly, but very slightly taller than the real models. So now let me show you something else. This is another S, but this is a bad copy S. That was actually quite a good copy. This one, straight away you can tell. These are gold, this is silver, yeah? Come on, like rookie error. You can tell straight away. So if you ever have this being a different color when it's an S model, it's fake, yeah? And look at this tray, they didn't even bother with it. So I'm not gonna go into this one, but that's like a crappy fake, which I've seen a lot of people have as well. So very easy to tell, guys. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. You know, I went over the X, I went over the S, showed you how to tell from a real and fake. This is all for your knowledge, you know, because at the end of the day, I just want to make sure that you guys don't accidentally buy a fake or get scammed by some vendor or some Shisha page on Instagram. If you do go to a store or you buy one, check it out for those sort of things. You know, if you're spending the retail price of an Alpha, which is normally 170 to 180, and someone sells you a fake, I'm sorry, that's really wrong. You know, you're spending your hard-earned money on a product. If you're spending the same price or a similar price to what the original retail price is for fake, yeah, you need to make sure you don't shop there. There are only 5 stores in the UK that I would recommend to you, which are Shisha Gear, Hookah, Exquisite Smoke, Shisha Haven, and of course my shop, Naughty Hookah. I'm not saying that other vendors who are selling alpha are selling fakes, please don't misquote me on that, but those 5 vendors, I can assure you that every time you're going to get a real alpha. So now, time for the surprise. A lot of you guys out there will be saying, you know what, the fake ones are the same, they smoke the same, they look the same, they ain't no different, they're made in the same factory. Well, let me just show you this, guys. What the hell is this? This is what you call an 8-month-old fake alpha, yeah? Alpha X. Can't even see the damn logo, yeah? So all you naysayers out there, these are the facts, yeah? End of the day, look, it doesn't even unscrew, you know what I mean? Look, this is fused. Bowl port is fused to the damn tray. Look at that rust, yeah? If you saw that fake Model X that I showed you earlier on, this is what it's gonna look like after around 8 months, yeah? So yeah, again, all chipped over here. Look at this stuff. Just look at it. That fake Model X is mashed up, as you can see. I don't want to smoke from that. I don't know if some of you want to. If you guys are fine with smoking out of that, bro, I don't know what to say to you. So you've seen what happens to fake hookahs after using them for a while. So if you can't afford the real one, fair enough, save up for it or buy something that you can afford. But if you're going to buy copies and replicas, just know that they're not going to last as long. They're going to rust, and they're then going to be a danger to your health once they rust and you're inhaling all that stuff. So guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed episode 1 of Real and Fake. Let me know in the comments which other products you want to see. This is all to educate you guys so you guys don't get scammed. I hope this has opened your eyes up to how many different fake stuff there are in the market. If you do like fake stuff and you like buying replicas, then that's all down to you, but is what it is. You've seen the differences. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow all my social channels, and I shall see you for episode 2. Take care.